Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the North American LCS Promotional Qualifiers. We do have here today both Falafel Gaming and Project Challenger going to be going head-to-head here on the Riot. He's a restream. Really big props to Riot for doing this kind of stuff yet again. And where's my volume button? There we go. Found the volume button. I'm the FourCourtJester. With me tonight, the L3 IRD. The stream is the word, and we're both streaming as is on the Twitch TV. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing well, and it's going to be a great one today. I'm doing the restream for all of us today on from this game. It's going to be really fun seeing Falafel Gaming yet again. Again, another challenger that did make it to the actual promotional series. Unfortunately, did fall down. I think they fell down to DNG before the actual DNG fell down to Marn right there. But a really good team overall in general. Azingi, you guys might know, probably known for a lot of good things, especially his crazy builds. But overall, really cool to see him work out from there. And on the other hand, Project Challenger, a pretty interesting team. They're a Diamond 1 team, 75 points in, and yeah, they have a lot to prove today, and they could do some really crazy stuff.
Well, with Azingi on board, I'm hoping to see something crazy, like a jungle Karthus maybe. Oh my god, that actually could be a jungle Karthus.
Not gonna say a thing. Not gonna say a thing. It could be, but it could not be too.
Who else would go to jungle? Yeah, that's right.
Jace, you know, in the beginning, Jace was thought about as a jungler because he has this melee form, and he goes, okay, you finished me off. But it looks pretty standard. On the other hand, we have Beverly AJ for a Cho'Gath jungle. But yeah, a Zingy jungle Karthus. We haven't seen that since like IPL 3, I think.
Yeah, it's been definitely a while. So we are on like 6-minute delay, so didn't bother putting up any kind of summoner blockers if anybody wanted to go, so I'm fairly sure there would have been easier ways to do it. But we are into the spectator delay. It will be a Zingy there in the jungle on that Karthus. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, what do we got there for the bans, Mr. Bird?
We got Nasus, Volibear, and Shin for the Falafel Gaming band side. On the other hand, for Project Challenger, Mumu, Nidalee, and Rumble. Liking that Rumble, well, deny for the team. But overall, very interesting. The Mumu band was pretty much respect band for Zingy. Otherwise, Nasus, Volibear, Shin, very standard bands overall as well.
A lot of junglers got hit by that, but again, from the junglers, a lot of people of them can also go into the top, and as you can see, Nidalee, Rumble grabbing the shaft on that one. But so the pick's coming out. It is, I almost said Vlanatech, but it's going to be Vladimir. Vladimir the Sona with Misfortune, Jace, and Jungle Karthus. Looking forward to big things to Azingi. I do like how you brought up the Amumu target ban on top of Azingi. Some really crazy strats from that guy. But who do we got there on Challenger?
Project Challenger, we do have Roll 18 on that Janna. We do have also Mr. Wild Mimo. Wild Mimo. I'm gonna call him Nemo for some reason, but there you go. With that J4, Ace is gonna be on the Caitlyn, and the Cho'Gath gonna be played by Cloud X High. Unfortunately, but lastly but not leastly, EV Card on that Rise, and Rise being picked up in the end of everything. Very safe picks actually coming out from Project Challenger, and I hope to see some really good stuff coming out from them today.
It's definitely very North American picks at this point. Now these guys, can you tell us a little bit quickly about exactly what the promotional qualifier is and what it will entail for the teams that are playing?
For everybody here, we're going to be doing a round of 16 and round of 8. There's going to be fighting out for spots to actually get into the process of relegation. The relegation process, really quickly, is pretty much the offline tournaments, which was IPL and MLG. Rest in peace, IPL. There's 4 teams already getting in: Cloud9, Velocity Esports. I'm forgetting the other 2 right now. Square Duck and One Trick Ponies. They're all into the actual tournament for relegation. The other 4 people that will be fighting out at the end of everything will fight for seeding, and then we'll just go on from there. But pretty much this is all for that summer promotional tournament to get into the summer LCS and to pretty much maybe replace Marn, replace Complexity, replace some fan favorites over there as well.
Yeah, those lower tier teams definitely could have some tough times ahead. But alright, there you go. So that's how people are going to be getting into this. This is why we're doing these qualifiers. I did remember seeing Square Duck take themselves into those qualifiers. I was like, man, that is a team with a lot of potential right there. We got to see them repeatedly in the Overclock tournament. That was something to behold. But we're going to get this game rolling. Game number 1, Team Falafel Gaming, the repeats from January, up against Project Challenger here for the NA LCS Promotional Qualifiers. Oh my god, that's a terrible thing. What are you doing to me, Tiza? Oh.
Yeah, that's kind of hurting my eyes just a little bit, possibly.
Glad I'm not restreaming that. I tell you, I'm happy about that one, Mr. Bird. But once again, FourCourtJester in the L3 RRD. We're going to get this one rolling.
Yeah, definitely indeed. And again, guys, if you are watching it on the FourCourtJester webs, also watch on the twitch.tv L3D. Switch it out in and out. It's going to be a pretty fun one overall for everybody today. And especially for all the streams that are out there, it's definitely going to get covered. If your team isn't here just yet, you might want to just wait up a little bit. Again, I'm kind of waiting for this FX Open matchup that's coming up next at 6 p.m. PDT, especially for that comeback. PDT? Is it 6 p.m. PD or 6 p.m. EST?
If FX Open is next, which it's not, or is it?
I actually don't.
Yeah, that's 3 p.m. PDT, 6 p.m. EDT. Time zones,
there you go.
Yay.
There you go.
Why is it taking so long? Show us the game. I timed out the music to load in exactly when it ended, and all I'm watching is this flickering screen.
All I'm watching is my eyes going bye-bye to myself. Pretty much, that's how it's happening. But
having a seizure, says his chat.
6 p.m. EST, sorry about that. Yeah, FX Open, the comeback story, the comeback kick, Robert Exley, again, he did fall down, has partial amnesia, actually went for an MRI yesterday, and, well, we'll see if he can come back, play some really good games today.
Okay, Tiza, I can hear the game, bro. Show us the game! Yeah.
Tiza.
Alright, so we're going to do a radio cast. I hear the hyper acceleration gate going off. Obviously, people have bought. We're probably going to have some fortitude pots down there, some regular wards. You know, the typical utility stuff. I hear... I don't know what that was. Sometimes you need the visual cue. I think it was Jace's hammer. That's what it was.
Yeah, probably. I'm about to... Okay. I dislike doing this, but I'm going to say, hey, the screen game isn't on.
Yeah, we're going to do radio cast until Tiza actually shows us the game. I'm going to show you guys my awesome trophy and symbols and stuff. But 30 seconds to coming in. I haven't heard too many hammer changes go off, so maybe we're just going to be settling in for more defensive maneuvers. I haven't heard any kind of traps go down. I think we had a Caitlyn out there as well. And yeah, so maybe directed cameras just not catching them.
Yeah, and I forgot there's an extra delay, and Brad Tiza does know about the whole process. He'll get in the game really shortly, don't you worry. The delay is on, so there's even more delay on to top of this delay, so that's unfortunate.
Well, we heard the Shogat Raptor going off, so maybe we don't exactly have the more defensive opening going on. Well, a little bit of a fight going on level 1. I heard the DPS going down, the Karthus lay waste. I also heard the power cords go out, but didn't hear a kill from Tiza's stream, so I'm going to say that everyone got out of that one. I did hear a flash. I'm trying to
I think one or two flashes, yeah. But other than that, I don't think anything else really happened from there. And everyone's just starting up in the jungle. Not surprisingly, there. Karthus probably going to start blue, while on the other hand, J4 probably going to start either blue or try to invade the Falafel Gaming's red.
We've been seeing a lot of Jarvans actually start off with red buff, so we wouldn't be too surprised to see that going down. Here a little bit more harass going, unless those are the ADC and support going to be grabbing themselves wolves or golems. Depends if we have ourselves a lane switch. But yeah, no first blood going down, possibly a few flashes. And yeah, I want to say Karthus has to kind of start at that blue.
Yeah, I would hope so, because it's just looking so hard for Zingy to actually do anything about that if he doesn't actually start out blue. So very key for him to actually get that done, and hopefully he did actually take the blue buff instead of unfortunately losing his blue buff, which I think the team of Project Calendar wanted to do.
So again, guys, we don't actually have visuals of the game. There we go! Yay! We got visuals of the stream! That took, yeah, the extra few minute delay, but alright, so let's take a quick look. How close were we? We got the smite down from the Zingy, but no flashes. just the smites. So unfortunately we were on that, but it is this lane switch and the lane switch. 2-on-2 up top, 1-on-1 in the bottom. We got the jungle ganks coming in. Jay's not looking so hot. Azingi looking for that first blood. Not going to be happening on top of nothing here. But EV card now up against Azingi. Those layways just kind of tearing into the card. Card doesn't actually have too much mana anymore, but Azingi does have that blue, so it's pretty much infinite for him. Still no kills going down. Gold overall seems to be pretty even, and that concludes our radio cast.
Yep, that's pretty much everything settled and ready to go. We do see that matchup Cybolic going to be playing against EV card in that mid. Sorry. Cybolic actually over in the bottom lane versus the Cho'Gath, but Jace versus Ryze, not a surprise to see that over there. Jace can bully and push a wave so hard against Ryze though, especially because Ryze needs to farm up in that mid to late game. It's really good to actually deny him that gold. And then also on the bottom lane, Cho'Gath versus Vladimir. Vladimir can poke and harass with the range auto attacks, and on top of that, some good damage from Transfuse.
Now, I think I heard a flash right there, but Azingi coming in here looking for that first blood. Nothing here, should be able to pick it up, but it will go to Azingi with that last lay waste. Nice fight there in the mid, able to pick up that flash out of Azingi. So it was an aggressive flash to start that one off, and that wall man just bringing out the pain. So first blood going to go off to Falafel Gaming here on the left-hand side as the stream legs and hopefully doesn't go down.
No, it looks okay. It seems that it's holding off on its own. And right now, that's a good first blood that's going to be happening for Azingi, who, again, playing jungle card this, you kind of need to get the kills, unfortunately, in the beginning, so you can get that early, well, damage output when you can get it later as well. Getting him snowballed early will help the team of Falafel Gaming really secure this first game.
And the first game is all going to be about setting that mentality. We saw this morning in the EU. You get kind of a little maybe overconfident in game number 1, and then all of a sudden you've lost game number 2, and everything rides on the line, and you're just not feeling that great. I think you quoted Ocelot this morning about that exact issue. So yeah, game number 1, very important on setting your mindset. Now, in terms of everything, I'm looking at Vlad. He has himself that ghost. Don't actually see any teleports there from Falafel, but Project Challenger Cho'Gath is going to be rocking his, and other than that, it's a 9-flash game all around. So yeah, nothing really too unexpected from there. I would have really liked to see some of the rune pages and masteries, but alas, c'est la vie.
Yeah, I mean, we could check out the rune pages because it is in the NA live, but that would require some deep looking from other people right now. On the other hand though, I mean, this lane swap that actually happened for the lane swap over in that top lane, Waka Waka Walk is actually a pretty good ADC. Yes. Oh my god. Waka Waka Walk. He's a really good AD carry for many times in solo queues. So I've seen him play pretty well. He's doing a pretty good job trying to go up against Ace 50 to 42 on the CS score, and he's doing a pretty good job just harassing whenever he can. When you have a Janna and Sona being paired up against each other as well, it's going to be a lot of just poke and harass, but the sustain is going to be the big thing that Falafel Gaming has a little bit over onto Project Challenger in that technically bottom lane over in the top lane right now.
Oh, it is a 10 flash game. Yeah, Cybolic does have a flash. He has Flash Ghost. Man, I don't think... When was the last time I saw Flash Ghost? I see a lot of guides out there on ADCs about Flash Ghost. But yeah, I mean, the times have kind of changed with Season 3. But either way, yeah, it was a lane swap to the lane swap. We only got that first blood down. In terms of the creeps going back and forth, you know, Misfortune, early game damage is sort of her specialty until she can really start rocking that late game. But she also has the creep advantage. In fact, I think every side of the creeps are going to be leaning here towards Falafel. So a little bit of extra cash coming their way with that first blood on top of things. They're up about $1,000. So 7 minutes in, $1,000. It seems just so different from the EU this morning.
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be a little bit more aggression in the NA than in the EU. They do try to do this push mentality, just like the Korean strat that was kind of provided in the beginning for us. Do a 2v1 swap, go ahead and push down towers, switch down to mid, push down that tower as well. It just gets stopped when somebody else thinks, oh, they're probably gonna do a 2v2, so let's go 2v2 over this top lane instead. So the pace of the game is going to go a little bit slower for Falafel Gaming, and that's actually going to be a benefit for them, especially with Jace and especially with Karthus. Both of the champions really need a little bit more items per se, but a little bit more time to farm up and make sure that they can actually be very effective in the late game.
I just realized that the ratio of this is actually not working.
Uh-oh.
That's odd. I could have sworn I fixed this. Okay, I'll have to fix it next game. For now, the broken overlay will stay. So that, guys. So much preparation, and yet I still can't seem to make it all good. This is the fun times of restreaming and trying to manually resize Twitch TV windows all day, every day. Alright, so we're fine. We're 8.5 minutes in. Gold advantage, still leaning towards Falafel a little bit. Long range poke coming out there from Baby Zeus. But overall, things seem to be pretty calm since that first blood. I guess we're just going to be waiting for cooldowns and summoners to come back up before something else does happen. But we are also now hitting the level 6 range. I think everybody is actually rocking level 6 except Jarvan. I think he's actually level 5. But yeah, we're going to have to wait for him to get that Cataclysm ready to go before he probably makes another lane appearance. I see Vladimir bottom lane still up against the Cho'Gath. And hey, look, we're in the bottom lane. He's still pushing it up fairly nice. But it's, 10 creep kill right there. He didn't order. No, he did order. Okay. It's not Vlad versus Ryze, though. It's Jace versus Ryze. Okay.
Yeah, he thought that Cybolic actually went mid, but it was the switch up. Just because, again, Jace really pounds and pounds away at minions, especially at mid lane. It's a very good kind of matchup to put up against Ryze. I mean, Ryze can build up 80 or 80 defense or armor, sorry, but it's really good to just deny Ryze that time and that mobility to just have a little bit more creep farm, have a little bit more stability in that lane. And especially before level 6, Desperate Power is a really good clear tool, but it's only useful at the time when it's level 6. Before then, it's just really hard, and that's why you see 71 to 83 on that CS score. Jace is doing a really good job at that mid.
Sorry, I'm poking at my stream, but I think I'm making it worse.
Other than that, we're looking at some items right quick. The Fortitude pot's still on Cybolic. It was just because Cybolic thought he was going to be 2v1ing over bottom lane. So very, very interesting start with that. Going to be going with Hextech Revolver. Probably going to be building into Woda or... yeah, probably actually Woda because there's a Zingy with that damage. Oh my gosh, doing so much at that mid. Can he finish it up on EV card? It's actually nothing here going to be taken down first. And EV card probably going to try to get the second one. A Zingy, can he finish up on that one? He's going to get finished off actually by J4. J4 is probably going to go down for his troubles.
There we go. I think I fixed it. So yay, J4 goes down for his troubles. I fixed my stream. Everybody wins, and that's going to be button up. And now scored at 2-2. Had the bullet time come out top as well. Caitlyn not looking so healthy right there, but oh, there goes the crescendo. Rule 18 could be in danger going down. Gets himself a shield, and I don't quite think Baby Zeus has the burst in this early game to grab that. That's going to be some healing now. Rule 18 as well as Ace. They don't want to go home quite yet. Both of our ADCs are rocking BF swords, however. So this creeping factor is just going to be ever more important for them. But again, Misfortune still creeping ahead with those creeps, is going to have to eat that Piltover as bottom lane still getting pushed in a little bit. So in terms of items, we have, wow, already completed Spirit Stone for Karthus.
Wow, that's a pretty fast item for him. You're gonna get the spell vamp, gonna get the CDR, just 10% CDR, but also the, I think, CDR onto smite, so he's gonna keep on smiting whenever he can, get the extra gold, and just keep on rocking as there. I'm pretty sure Karthus and the team of Falafel Gaming want to actually farm up or push the wave just a little bit over in mid and top, or mid and bot, and they're going to be able to get this dragon pretty soon. Especially with Karthus at this point, he can actually destroy a dragon pretty easily, so I'm liking the plays, and yeah, they're going to ping out for that area, they're prepping, and they're going to get ready to go for that dragon.
Yeah, Dragon, as we saw this morning, is just extremely important to a lot of these teams. It's a great global objective, a lot of pocket cash, and at the same time also just gives you a really big opportunity for team fights, especially with the right setup. So yeah, if Dragon is going to be on the table, I mean, it should be coming very important in the next few minutes, as it is now already 12 minutes into the game. And top lane still not going back, but mid lane, however, we still got that gank coming in. A Zingy just going to tank out the tower a little bit here for nothing here, and he lands some damage right there into Ryze. Now Ryze has to have himself the tier, as well as that catalyst, so very likely that Rod of Ages. If we pick it up in the next 2 minutes, wow, that Ace actually sneaking past Waka Waka Walk, able to take down Sona. Then, yeah, Ryze will have himself a nice Rod, and then mid-game, 25-30 minutes, he should be able to just put that up to full power.
Yeah, but Waka Waka Walk still doing some good damage over in the top lane. I think I have to pause my stream just a little bit, guys. Sorry about that. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see. Unfortunately, could not block off the Ace in the hole at the end. Everything is still getting that in, and that kill is going to get this golden lead a little bit more similar. 123 to 109 on the CS score. Still a pretty big lead coming out from Misfortune, but still, it is going to be Waka Waka Walk a little bit tied up with Ace.
Yeah, with that ace in the hole, good for him. EV card coming up here for that gank, going to be going into the bush looking for that vision. There's the barrier coming out from Walk as well as the flash. Don't quite think we needed a flash there at the end, but Jarvan is also in town. Jace, however, is going to get caught in that Cataclysm. Hammer hot is not going to be nearly enough, and down goes Jace. Really nice Damascene standard, just cementing him in place from a wild Mimo. Yeah, my stream keeps lagging every few minutes, like right there. So that's probably why you're actually coming out ahead. But yeah, Cloud, he's going to come in here. He's just going to feast that dragon, no problem. As Zingy and Cybolic gets defeated on that front. And now he's just going to try to make his way for the hills. But Cybolic and Zingy, they're slowing him down. There's lots of damage coming out. It doesn't matter. He's too tanky. He doesn't go down. Bullet time up top. And it looks like Tower could be in danger of going down sometime soon.
Yeah, but 4 people over on that top lane, it's very, very dangerous. You can't really do too much about that, so they're going to back away. Unfortunately, bullet time, I think, was used there to just defend off the tower. Great job by Cho'Gath, knowing the limitations on Smite, especially in the early go, and that Feast still has a 1,000 damage, true damage onto minions. So strong, and made sure that he got that for the team of Project Challenger.
Okay, so I refreshed my stream. I should be, like, live. I'm at 14, 19, 20, 21.
I'm at 14, 28.
Okay, I'm not live. How are you so much farther ahead of me? Stupid restreaming. Alright, so either way, 4-2. And yeah, I mean, that's why Jungle Cho'Gath was actually really popular for a while, because not only do you get those feasts, but you also have the smite. It's extremely hard to steal anything away from that kind of damage output.
I think it was paired up with like a support Nunu or jungle Nunu plus the Cho'Gath top, and it's just so much control in the jungle what you can do with that. And the limitation of having a 2v1, usually you don't give that dragon control over in that bottom lane, just because again you don't usually have that numbers advantage over in that bot lane. But especially since everything is over the top lane from bottom lane to top lane, Cho'Gath is just so much more immense control for that dragon control. Just takes it away from the team of Falafel Gaming, and Falafel can't really do too much about that. Right now they're only down about 600 gold from my part of the stream. Hopefully they will catch up a little bit more, but the damage output is going to be pretty strong, especially with two other spirit lizards.
That's what I heard. Counteract to come in. Yeah, that is 2. And yeah, Cybolic actually going to be picking that one up. Does that synergize well with a Vladimir?
I mean, it's spell vamp, it's damage output, it helps out to try to secure dragons again, and I think that's the only reason why they bought it. But yeah, I don't know. It's really interesting of a build, or interesting of an item. Gives them spell vamp, gives them CDR, so that's really good. And other than that, just gives them a little bit of basic stats, and that's about it.
Alright, so with the double spirits, maybe they'll be able to kind of contest some Cho'Gath damage. But top lane, Baby Zeus, oh, he's going to go top-wise, flash out of the Cataclysm, but Janna's right there with that ultimate, so nice knockback. However, we do have a Zingy right there, and that's going to be a lot of damage on top of Mimo. He's going to try to juke out a lot of these lay wastes, and it looks like he will actually successfully get away, but a Zingy eating those towers is not quite enough for a kill, but it's going to be for EV card as he jumps in here, grabs himself that double. Jace, however, did follow him from mid, and that's going to be a triple with the Zingy ult, or was that a quad?
No, it was a triple.
Okay.
Yeah, because Waka actually took the first kill from that, but yeah, it was a really strong push by Zingy. He knew he was probably going to die from that, so he just doing as much effective DPS onto the whole team, and then adding on top of that, Rise kind of set in the defile for a little bit as well, trying to just get the kill onto Zingy. And Zingy said, okay, I'll take that, and just kind of press one button to win everything. So very smart take. Falafel Gaming taking 2 towers actually over in top lane as well, doing a really good job controlling this game now.
Yeah, 2 towers, ties up the kills, they put him ahead in terms of gold by over 2 grand. And, well, a little under 2 grand, but still, the creeps coming in. I mean, the advantage is there. We're going to have that extra cash. And Zingy, again, his builds are just always sometimes so strange, but they work out so well. He's sitting at 5-2-1. Of the 6 kills, he has 5 of them plus an assist. He's been everywhere this one.
I mean, if you're Karthus, you kind of are everywhere no matter what, but the first assist is actually the first blood kill onto that one. Baby Zeus in a little bit of trouble, probably going to get caught out over there, while Mimo will probably pick that one up and Zingy's doing his Zingy thing, trying to do some good things.
Doing his Zingy thing. Baby Zeus, however, doing his thing and dying. Zingy now going to be caught there in the Cataclysm. We do have that the Defile going on, and you know when you are trapped in that Cataclysm with Jarvan, the Defile's a really good tool to kind of return a lot of that damage. But he doesn't have his R up quite yet, and he will go down. The good thing about Karthus, however, is that he kind of comes up real quick, especially if you're Phantom Lord. But we unfortunately have no Phantom Lord here today. Cloud X High, however, is still putting some return pressure on this bot lane. And Cybolic's trying to deal with it, but he's looking a little low.
Yeah, I think he's playing it a little dangerously. Cloud X High is actually pretty strong, especially with cannibalism, but they're going to go try to trade this one out.
I guess, yeah, Cybolic's not going anywhere. There's the Hebo pledge. Yeah, he's going to commit to this, but Cloud X High, does he have that feast up? No, he doesn't. So, yeah, I think we already do know that. Cybolic, the only reason he's kind of being as ballsy as he is. Top lane turret, however, it will drop. Nice tornado just to pick up the wreckage. And, yeah, still kind of going one-on-one. Cybolic with that spell vamp, though, is extremely powerful with the Vlad. He returns so much health per spell.
Yeah, you're going to be able to just keep on pushing along, especially with Transfusion, the Q ability off of Vladimir. I mean, you already get health back. On top of that, you can rush with AP, and then on top of that, you get that, I think, 20% still fill them as well. So, really cool to see from Cybolic pushing in onto Cloud, and then Cloud can't really stay at this lane anymore. So, probably have to use the teleport to try to go back right to bottom.
Yeah, but Cloud, every time he does kill a creep, he gets that health and mana back. But yeah, Cybolic's done a really nice turnaround from there. The hit points basically swapped between them, and yeah, he's going to be heading on back. I don't know if he'll actually use that teleport, if he'll just walk it, because we do have this dragon pressure now coming up. We do got a pink ward there as well, so it will be seen by Project Challenger, and you can see them kind of collapsing. But again, we don't have that Cho'Gath, so that steal potential has just kind of been minimized. They do take down the dragon before anything does happen. EV card in the forefront, though, and insta-gives that card. We do have his press R to win, but there's nobody really low enough, and yeah, there's that teleport coming up from Cloud High.
Yeah, Zingy actually didn't have his flash up just yet as well, and couldn't really do anything about that. Kind of fell down and said, okay, I'll try to do something, and now is on cooldown for his Requiem, so that's going to be really key for the next fight Project Challenger wants to do. One thing Project Challenger has been doing really well is actually picking off onto Zingy off of a Baby Zeus or anyone of the team who just kind of walks solo for Falafel Gaming. So that's also another key for Falafel Gaming, saying, hey, we probably should group up a little bit more, trying to push turrets with each other instead of just all separately trying to do things on our own, because it's looking like they could come back into this game, and that is what it's looking like right now. Project Challenger, they're going to be up a little bit in gold, hopefully, and it's going to be pretty key for Falafel Gaming to actually group up and push together.
Well, with that turret, yeah, they are going to be up in gold. Cho'Gath actually is holding his own up against Vlad in terms of creeps, 202 to 193. The mid is a little bit closer, 166 to 161. The ADCs are only 5 apart. So 21 minutes in, everyone has been keeping up with their farm, but we got some pressure now mid, maybe looking to grab that mid turret from Project Challenger. And Cyborg, yeah, he really doesn't back down from this at all. We do have the feast up this time for Cloud.
Yeah, it's looking like they're going to be ready for this yet again, and hopefully there'll be a little bit better response than last time, unfortunately. Yeah, Falafel Gaming, we'll see if they actually get into this in a little bit. Other than that, I think it's mentioned in a little bit of chattage from, I think, the actual stream. Project Challenger, they have so much map control, but they're not actually really using it. They're still kind of staying in lane phase, staying not really with each other. And the only time they actually try to contest is when the team of Falafel Gaming groups. Technically, that's good, and that's cool that you actually group up at the times when they're going to be grouping up as well. But Project Challenger has such a great pickoff comp. You have J4 with the Demosthenes Standard, and you Dragon Strike in. You have Rune Prison and that damage output that you have from Rise. I don't know if Project Challenger's utilizing their actual team comp too well.
Well, at the same time, I mean, they are still up in the kills, and they do have quite a few wards there in the bottom jungle of Falafel Gaming, so it's pretty much you can't go really anywhere in that bottom area without them knowing about it. As a return, I mean, look at, we have 4 blue wards just down here in this little crescent shape around the dragon, and we got a red, pink right there as well. So, I mean, the wards are not exactly slim or rare at this point. A lot of wards have been placed, and the sight stones really coming out for Season 3 really does kind of bring out that big sight ward game from everyone. But yeah, with their map control, 9 kills, 22 minutes. Maybe it could have been a bit higher.
Yeah, I mean, it's especially known that like they took already top, they could just swap it back to bot, but then again, they're in a decent state. Cho'Gath at 216 on the CS score. You have the Rise at 174, which is not that bad. I mean, especially with those 5 kills, that's actually pretty good for the team. On the other hand, Cybolic with 234 CS compared, as well as Jace at 185. I mean, they have a lot of damage output coming from both sides, but Falafel Gaming, they had to kind of just poke at it for a little bit. I mean, that's their comp. They have Karthus with Layways. They have the Jace with the Acceleration Gape on top of Shock Blast. And, well, Waka Waka Wah. I mean, he has some good damage with some double ups, and hopefully can get in there at times. But I don't know. We'll see how this will actually keep going, especially with Project Challenger. Just kind of waiting and waiting for an opportune moment to actually catch on to Falafel Gaming.
Yeah, it's all about being patient, looking for those plays, because, you know, good things come to those who wait. Now, your stream isn't pausing at all, is it?
No, it's not.
Every, like, 3-4 minutes, I get a few second pause, and now I'm at 24:02, 03.
Are you on 720p plus, or?
I actually downgraded it to 720p.
Ooh.
Because, yeah, I was concerned about
the lag, too.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's just strange because, like, we did Metroid 1080p no problem.
Right.
Strange. I don't know. I'm gonna blame Twitch on this one. In terms of everything, I just noticed that this Cho'Gath, you know, he is going toe-to-toe down south. He does have a lot of magic resist to his name, but he's also more of an on-hit with that Wit's End. Usually these days, we see Cho'Gaths more go towards AP tanky, but it's been a while since I've seen a Wit's End on one.
Yeah, I mean, Wit's End is not the item that it used to be, and there's a bit of better items from before. Ionic Spark was the actual changeover, and then now Static Shift for 80 bruisers. Not really an equivalent for AP bruisers. I mean, you go Nashor's twos, but you don't actually use anything of defensive skills from there. That's kind of the equivalent. But Wit's End still a pretty strong just damage item, and especially with a Cho'Gath paired up with that, it's actually a pretty good combo. It kind of reminds me of Hotshot GG from Season 1, taking over the red buff and then just being a super tank, plus on top of that doing massive amount of damage just in the front line.
Well, Cybolic's persistence has paid off. He's going to grab the 3rd tower kill for Falafel in this bot lane. Cho'Gath did head back. He is now going extremely tanky. Went home and bought straight out a Warmogs. So he's going to be feeling alright. I did notice, though, the J4 is going to be rocking that Runic Bulwark. So once again, we don't really see a lot of Locket of the Iron Solaris in our last few games here in the LCS Promotional Qualifiers. But we have been seeing a lot of Runics.
Runic Bulwark is such a great item. I mean, you gave that extra stats. Oh, Zingy. Hopefully we'll catch up in a second, but yeah, it'll come soon, unfortunately. And yeah, I mean, Runic Bulwark, that's such a good item.
Yeah, he went down real quick. Zing like, this is the problem with a card this jungle. Right now, we have this big meta of tanky, gap-closing jungles, and Karthus isn't either of those.
I mean, you could get tanky with like 5 Rada Ages and then kind of rock out from there. But yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you on this. Unfortunately, I don't know what Zingy can do to catch up because now he's a little bit behind comparably where he should be in damage output. Even though with Rallies, even though with the item for the jungle, I mean, overall, I don't think he's gonna be super effective until he builds probably a Void Staff, and on top of that, the Seraph's Embrace as well.
Yeah, Seraph's Embrace is something that we did see earlier in the EU. Didn't exactly get used to, you know, some groundbreaking plays, but hey, another shield on top of things definitely goes a long way to keeping yourself alive in some of these team fights. A lot of damage is coming out from both teams, but the Runic Bulwark in this instance, like, I'm looking at Cho'Gath, he has that Wit's End, he has the Chalice, we got the Runic Bulwark out there, and if you notice, we got, you know, double, triple if you count Sona AP comp for Falafel because Zing is an AP jungler.
Yeah, I mean, triple AP is a very strong thing, but no Woda is actually built out just yet. I expected Cybolic to actually do that, and I'm pretty sure Cybolic can still do that until later on. I mean, he did build out the Spirits of Visage and still keep on, well, regenerating such a big load. But I think what Cybolic's probably going to do is going to go into a Rylus Crystal Scepter, build up for healthiness and tankiness, and then from there, hopefully he'll have enough damage output, because right now, 282 compared to the 255 of Cho'Gath, he's doing a pretty good job just keeping up, staying at that bot lane, just farming and farming, just like most top laners do, usually.
Yep, Farm Fest. We used to call that a few different other choice words in the past. I'm not going to repeat them here, but yes, Farm Fest. Now we do have some pressure over here at the Baron. Jarvan just kind of dancing with Sona. She's trying to grab that ward with the pink, but eventually he does relent. She's able to pick it up. It's interesting that, you know, we have seen now Spell Vamp on a Vladimir who regens life anyways from his Tides of Blood, and a Spirit Visage. Like, that to me is kind of a really old school strat.
I mean, it's really useful for Vladimir, though, so I'm liking where he's going with that. Comparatively, Cloud High, I mean, he's still just going to be pushing up even more, so that Wits End is just a pushing tool. Although, technically, maybe in Static Shiv would have been okay for Cho'Gath to actually build, even though it doesn't really fit the mold for Cho'Gath. It actually would push a lot harder than Cybalic would actually have to answer each and every time at bot. Because with how much damage Cybalic has with the Void Staff on top of the jungle AP item, it's pretty easy to actually clean up these waves and just go right back to that mid lane or go right back to wherever the team really needs him to be. So it's a big thing that Project Challenger is going to have to keep on noticing it in Cybalic, because each and every time he farms a wave, literally in about 1 to 5 seconds, he's a little bit more powerful and a little bit more dangerous, especially for that backline of Aces and also onto Roll 18.
Speaking of Aces, has himself the Cupcake Brigade right there. It's the unbreakable wall of cupcakes. Unfortunately, no Yordles here to actually take advantage of that, but that's alright. Blue buff is probably going to go to Jace? Yeah, okay. Zingy doesn't need it anymore. He just dies and hits R, and that's his old role these days. But Cybalic is still bottom lane. It's kind of interesting how we have kind of extended that solo one-on-one so long into this game, because we're about to hit that 30-minute mark. And on top of all those things, we do have, you know, more and more items coming out. Janna's actually the one picking up the socket, the locket of the Iron Solari, aka the Solari locket,
socket or something. Yeah. He coined that one yesterday or today, so that's really good.
It'll catch on, I swear. But the Runic Bulwark coupled with that locket is not something that we have here for Falafel, so I'm curious to see if, you know, that extra hit points and that extra magic resist, especially with the double AP going down, I wonder if that's going to be enough to kind of win out the rest of these team fights.
Are they really? Wow, they're gonna try for this right now. Falafel Gaming, they know that they're in a little bit of a situation. They're gonna actually try to go for this Baron right now.
Is that all 5? It is all 5 of them. So Cho'Gath bottom lane, he does have that teleport. He's about to use it, I think. Yeah, he's going to be coming up here. That's going to be the team fight. Zingy's going to get dunked there by the Jarvan. A Wild Nemo's not going to be able to get out of that one, but Jarvan actually, Jarvan goes down. Karthus takes out that Janna, but Ryze is able to take down a Zingy. The press R to win is not quite enough for the kill yet, but nothing here. He tried to grab EV card, wasn't able to, but by the time the dust all settles, 4 for 1. And it's only a Zingy, so yeah, I think they definitely came out ahead of that one.
Yeah, they definitely did come out ahead of that one. It was especially really good for Zingy to position himself in the right place for the team to actually still keep on DPSing while he was still in that death form / I think he got stayed out for a little bit from Janna, but overall a good time for Zingy just because he kept on getting damage, or kept on doing damage to the team, and especially with Janna's ult down because it pushed away a Zingy. It was just kind of an unfortunate chance that Project Challenger just did. With that little bit of extra time Zingy was alive, he did more effective DPS, and that's why the trade really went well for Falafel Gaming. Otherwise, if Project Challenger kind of trapped the team of Falafel Gaming in that Baron pit, it would have went super well for Project Challenger. So unfortunate times and unfortunate chances, and now we are at that 10 to 11 mark.
Yeah, 10 to 11, 31 minutes in. The gold's still fairly even across both teams. A little bit difference in creeps, a little bit difference in towers, but overall, still about a K.5 between them. So it's still anybody's game despite that overwhelming team fight from Falafel. We have seen teams that just absolutely dominate one team fight and then get absolutely destroyed the next. So I wouldn't discount Project Challenger quite yet. We do got pings going down on top of the dragon, so very likely that it's up. Can't actually tell with the icons and because they're just kind of standing on top of it. But yeah, it's going to drop. We should see the next one about 38 minutes, and that little extra goal is going to just bring that gold disparity down that much more.
Yeah, definitely. But the thing I'm looking at right now for Falafel Gaming and Project Challenger, the distribution of kills. Right now we have 6 on Karthus, we have 1 on Jace because of his first blood, and 3 on Waka Waka Walk, on that misfortune. Overall, it's all going to the carriers that really need the damage. I mean, it's cool Cybolic picks up a kill or something with the 4 assists and 320 CS. I think he's okay with items so far, so I'm really liking where the team distribution of kills are on Falafel Gaming. On the other hand, you do have a lot going on the res, and that's really good as well. A little bit coming off of Caitlyn, a little bit coming off of J4 as well. I would expect, or I would like to see J4 actually pick a little bit more in kills, if anything, and Caitlyn just keep on packing away from the back. But overall, it's where we're standing right now, and another Baron standoff probably going to be coming in really soon.
Waka waka wa. 664 on a Zingy. Of the 10 kills that we have for Falafel Gaming, he has been part of 100% of them, and he is over half the total kills as well. That's why I was like, you know, oh, okay, sure, they took down a Zingy, whatever. It's not exactly worth a ton at this point, because he does have majority of the deaths. Now, had they actually picked up, like, the killing spree off of Misfortune, would have been a little bit more impressive, but hey, a Zingy goes in, he gets off that damage, he becomes a zombie, and he kills things. That's exactly what Karthus is meant to do. He's not going to be that tanky role, he's not going to be really that initiation role, but that being said, he's not going to be that living role either, as he does drop. Defile still going down on top of that Baron, but we do got the Press R to win. It's going to be enough to take down Jarvan after that Cataclysm, but my Cybolic is going to drop, I think, too. That Ignite Flash comes out here from Waka Waka One. That's not going to be enough to pick up Aces. That is a trap there in the way. Don't want to hit that, and all of a sudden, as I said, you know, one team fight, Falafel really dominating. Second team fight, they lose out that trade for a 1-on-3.
Yeah, and again, that is a very, very smart take for Project Challenger to do. Very, very, very good coming out from the team, and unfortunately for Falafel Gaming, taking that damage yet again, and also having Zingy not really do enough to affect DPS on the team. It kind of changed the tide for them, and unfortunately they did come down off of that one. Hopefully they kind of recognize, they see what's the problem, and they'll actually be a little bit more aware of the situation.
So nothing here is going to pick up the blue. 14-11, and now the gold advantage going towards Challenger rather than Falafel. Just a few scant minutes ago they had that advantage, and just like that, it is no longer theirs. Either way, a lot of items are now actually coming to fruition. 35 minutes in, we're seeing, you know, 3 to 4 items now being completed per person. And I think we mentioned that somewhere between the 40 and 45 minute mark is kind of the sweet spot of these games so far, and we're on track for that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're getting in, they're getting ready for the critical mass point where all the damage items are just going to be pounding and handling on to everybody. And again, we're going with this Baron kind of bait for the team of Falafel Gaming. Don't know if this is the smartest idea, but they're going to go for this yet again.
Yep, Baron is going to be a very big focal point right now, especially for the teams. The problem is I don't think Zingy can, you know, kind of go in there and tank it as he's been doing. I mean, sure, he has himself the Seeker's Arm Guard, he does have himself that Rylai's Crystal Scepter, but if he gets low, he just kind of gets insta-gived here from the team fights as we saw in last round. He just, as you said, cannot do that effective DPS. This round, Cybolic seems to be the one at the forefront. He's going to be taking a lot of poke from these teams. Jarvan able to throw down those standards. EV card going to flash in, looking for that Q. Don't have quite the rupture, but that's going to be the bullet time. It's going to land across pretty much the entire team of Project Challenger, but it doesn't seem to matter. No kills quite yet. A lot of poke going back and forth. Ignites now also being burned out, and everybody is low. But unfortunately, nobody went down from either team.
Yeah, unfortunately, Zingy didn't have his R ready at the time, and unfortunately did not get any of those kills, because he probably would have got a quadra kill just from that little moment right there. Other than that, that's the third time they've done this Baron little dance, and they actually lost the second trade of that one, or third trade of that one. So hopefully Falafel Gaming is saying, hey, can we try something else, maybe push, maybe do something else, because each and every time they just keep on doing this Baron dance. I mean, Project Challenger, they are following B. I mean, they're still ahead in gold, they're still ahead in CS, they're still ahead in a lot of things, and I don't know, this is the smartest idea for Falafel Gaming to keep on with this, well, I guess, love of Baron.
It's all about persistence, Bird. I mean, we saw Cybolic bot lane. He was low, then he got high, and then he got pushed, and then he rushed back. He took the tower before Cho'Gath. It's going to be the same idea here. We just keep persisting there at the Baron. Eventually, we'll get themselves a perfect team fight. They'll get the Baron and win the game. In a perfect world.
And that's a lot of things happening at the right situations all the right time, and I don't know. it's a little too perfect in the world of Falafel Gaming's eyes, but hopefully it is going to come to fruition. Otherwise, we're just going to see a Zingy probably go a Zingy a little bit, and unfortunately, Project Challenger is going to take advantage of that.
Another few seconds of video lag. The audio lag, there is no audio lag for me, but it's always like 2 to 3 seconds of video, so... I think I might have skipped actually back to lives. 3750, 1, 2, you're probably still ahead. Because you're awesome. You. In terms of everything, we just did have a shot land on top of Ace. Ace actually does have himself the Bloodthirsty. It's had the Static Shiv for a while. And a Catalyst. So, Banshee?
Probably, unless he really wants to go Route of Ages and make the traps really powerful. Banshee's would probably be the right recipe for everything. I guess for a Cybolic's ultimate with Vizingi's ultimate, maybe just shield him out for that one damage blow. That is pretty key, and usually you would see like Mercurial Scimitar or something like that to add on for 80 to deny that magic damage, but having that shield, having that extra, well, denial of an ability, is really key. So I like that kind of build. That's already on Rise, it's going to be on the Caitlyn really soon.
Yeah, but talking that Mercurial, I do think that's going to be here in the cards for Misfortune. She does have herself the BF as well as the Negatron. And in terms of just magic resist across the board, Jace now going for that Hex Drinker. Very likely could be going into the Maw Malmortius fairly soon. But tower pressure here mid because they were caught up at the Baron. Azingi still kind of not in the place that he needs to be. Goes down real quick and did not get a kill for that. Double comes out now for the Rise. The press are to win, just not winning anything today. And now we are in a good position for Challenger to go grab themselves a Baron.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of at all of what's happening in this game. Unfortunately, Zing going down, and also Sona just trying to fall up as well. Baby Zeus can really do too much as well. And now we do see Project Challenger trying to catch up. Oh my gosh, that is not going to be good for them.
Okay, I'm going to look at Waka Waka, and yeah, he gets feasted pretty nicely. Yeah, that feast coming out, but it is going to be Caitlyn with the kill. So now, 5 people still sitting here pretty on the Baron, all looking fairly healthy, and 3 deaths later, Falafel absolutely cannot contest this. 11 to 18, that's a big advantage now coming out for the Challenger, as they've now widened the gold lead as well to about 5K.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good for Project Challenger, really doing a really good job pushing up over at the second turret. I'm probably going to need to take that down in a little bit. And also just doing a really good job overall, just controlling the map, which they really needed to do in the beginning, and they've been doing really well so far.
Now the response here is that minions have decided that the red turret in the bottom lane needed to die, so good on you minions carrying this Falafel team at this point in the game. But either way, 11 to 18, the towers still in advantage here of Falafel, but they were pretty much powerless to kind of stop that Baron after they lost the 2, then they lost the 3rd, and they lost the top tower. Somehow Cybolic did not get destroyed 5-on-1, but I guess they just deemed that there are more important things to do than to play around with the Vladimir top.
Yeah, I mean, Cybolic will just keep on farming no matter what. Double Zion's on the way for the team of Falafel Gaming. Just a really quick, just side note. Really, I mean, it was pretty cool watching Riot stream just as a side note. And they went 5 Zion's Hourglass, just to do a 5-man Zion's Hourglass. It was pretty cool to see out on the stream. Yeah. 5? 5.
You can't use them all. Okay.
Oh, I mean, the whole team. Sorry, that's what I meant.
Oh. That's like 5 hourglasses on one person. What madness is this? Okay, 5 hourglasses on a team. I can believe.
Yes.
Not exactly viable, I don't think, but I can believe it. Either way, yeah, I don't think we're going to see that here. What we do see, however, is a double locket now on Challenger. We've had it on our Janna for a while, but we did pick it up on Jarvan a few team fights ago. Dragon was the attempt here. It said, you know, about the 40-minute mark to come by, but blue team able to just do a show of force, able to take it away from Challenger. That's going to help them out with this gold disparity a little bit, but they're still kind of on this back foot.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to get down onto themselves a little bit, just getting whatever items they can. I mean, they are at a critical mass point. You have Jace with the BT, you have it with the Last Whisper, but overall not really that strong. You do have the Baron buff already set up for Project Challenger, so they're going to keep on pushing. I mean, there's a lot of damage output that Falafel Gaming has, but I don't think it's going to be enough, especially with how Janna's been working with that Monsoon just healing up everybody, and how the team is really working away from Project Challenger.
Yeah, the Monsoon heal to counter out the Sona heal. I mean, I would definitely take Monsoon in a pinch. AoE for the win. Oh, the tower goes down to Zingy. Absolutely gets melted. The flash forward with the Cataclysm. That's going to be the crescendo going out. Didn't really catch out anybody, and that is not going to be good for Falafel as they do drop 2-0. And the towers, everyone's still alive and healthy-ish on Challenger, but I think it's going to be healthy enough as they're going to be able to take not only this tower, but this inhibitor and possibly more.
Yeah, that's going to be unfortunate, and Project Challenger is going to back away from this one. Falafel Gaming, they're at a really bad disposition stance. I was lost at words because I'm thinking right now, this is the #1 team that's in top rank 5s, and they are going to be losing, I think, to the #1 or the last seed for the Diamonds 1 group, and hopefully this isn't going to be on their hands for the second game / third game if they're going to go to that. But hopefully Project Challenger is saying, well, we're doing pretty well, we're actually keeping up with this team, we're actually pushing in for the win. So hopefully Project Challenger, with a grain of salt, you know, they're saying, yes, we can actually take on this team, and maybe we could be a team that could really wreck in the LCS.
Yeah, a team that can wreck in the LCS will probably make waves at that summer promotional tournament. It would be really interesting to see how much new blood does get inducted when we do get to that stage in the game. But, you know, today it's all about landing those positions, not trying to lose. But again, it is only game #1. Best of 3s are here for a reason. You screw up something, you come back, you make the best of it. And yeah, I mean, as we saw this morning, you know, 1-0 a Nexus, and then all of a sudden, bam. We were right on point with Dexter's Actually Evil, and they've brought it back to the third game. You can't really say that this is over at any point, at any stretch.
Yeah, definitely, and especially for the first game of a series that could determine what your next life goal is going to be. It's actually pretty, well, scary in the sense that, yeah, you're at this tournament, you're at the top elo, you're at the top level of the game, and you're trying to win this out so that you can get a salary paid position. You're going to get pretty much a lot of money just brought into it. There's just so much on the line, and this is just a start. I mean, the round of 16, I mean, this is unfortunate if you do lose out in there. In the round of 8 moment, you're going to actually, like, feel that moment where you can actually go in and try to win out, well, a spot into the LCS. And that is a very, very key moment as Zingy, getting Zingy yet again.
Yeah, Zingy getting a Zingy. I'll go with that, sir. Tower down, the crescendo came out. Here comes the dunk from J4. We do got the press R to win. It will be enough to take down Jarvan. And now Subalik absolutely getting destroyed there at the end. Nice shot on top of EV card. I don't think we're going to be trying to chase that out. We might be able to pick up a Cho'Gath if the camera would move. There we go. Ace in the hole going to be trying to deter nothing here. Wow, that actually hit quite hard. Look at Caitlyn. She has herself that Banshees, which we did kind of predict, but the Bloodthirst on top of a Shiv on top of another BF sword. That Ace in the hole really chunked down Jace.
And it's going to be built into the IE as well. Well, let's just say it's going to chunk even more so when it comes into endgame. Caitlyn's in a really good state. Although, again, I don't really like watching Caitlyn's actually build into a BT first, into well, whatever she wants to build into. I like the IE, just the damage output. Just raw damage is really good for Caitlyn, but overall, it's still a really good build going to BT and then ending with an IE. That is just immense amount of damage coming out from this Caitlyn. Gonna be pretty soon.
I think she's sitting at 350, and then you got to factor into crits and your penetration, plus of course the 100 damage magic damage boost coming out from Static Shiv on top of things. She is an absolute damage monster at this point. So Banshee seems to be paying off for her. She's sitting at 6-2 and 8, 348 creeps. But I gotta say, this Vlad, his last hits have actually impressed me quite a bit. Over 446 minutes in. At one point, he was almost sitting at 100 creeps a minute, and he has slipped a little bit with the recent team fights. He's sitting at 0-6 though, a little disappointing in that regard. But even more than him is Cho'Gath sitting at 418 creeps. That's impressive stuff.
I mean, they had the time of their lives at the bottom lane. They had no one really talking to each other. The only thing that Cho'Gath did was kill Dragon away from the team of Falafel Gaming. And Falafel Gaming, especially with Zingy, you don't really have that gank potential when you have Symbolic and Zingy really rocket in at the bottom lane, unless you do it pre-6 or unless you do it when Cho'Gath isn't actually fed with a lot of health. And at this point, it really didn't matter. So Cloud X High and Symbolic, you go in for the win. as well, Froggen lovers with the CS score that you guys are promoting right now.
Yeah, the CS scores are pretty impressive. I think a Froggen would actually be a bit higher by now. Again, 100 creeps a minute or so, sweet spot. Zingy goes in, it actually gets off that Zonia's, the Defile still going off on top of things. I heard the Crescendo go down, and CloudXI is going to be the one going down, but we do finally get another kill on top of Zingy. Press R to win is going to be bringing them under half, and now all of a sudden 2 for 1. We have a little bit of a resurgence of hope here from Falafel Gaming. They're able to rebuff this pug. The ace of the hole comes out, and I don't know who it hits. I think it was Waka Waka Wah, because he didn't die. And oh, maybe it was nothing here? I don't know.
No, it was Waka Waka Waka.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yay for... But unfortunately, look at the other lanes, Mr. Bird. Without those inhibitors and without really kind of paying attention to mid and bottom, there's a lot of red coming into their base.
Yeah, the sea of red is actually just going to flow in just in a little bit. Falafel Gaming can't really do too much about that. The only thing they do have for them is actually a Zingy. I mean, he can clear out waves pretty key, and they can save out this middle inhibitor. But again, Project Challenger just has to wait for another Baron buff if they wanted to wait for another Baron buff, because they did take out the top inhibitor before leaving out the base. So very, very key for, well, Project Challenger to say, hey, we have another advantage, let's go take another advantage yet again.
Yeah, that bottom lane inhibitor was, we got a little bit of a camera pan over it, really low, but now the top is down. That leaves only one turret up, and that's going to be the mid. So yeah, I mean, it's even more impressive, as you said. I mean, we had that Baron buff on top of Project Challenger, and they didn't win that fight. They did get the inhibitor, but they didn't actually win the fight, and now they're able to take down a Dragon on top of things. So we're actually now going to be pushing past the sweet spot into a 50-minute, kind of like an ultra late game. And in terms of items, we're starting to see 6 item builds come out, pretty much. Like, look at Rise. He's pretty much done at this point. We've sold off the Dorns now on Caitlyn. She's sitting at 6. Cho'Gath is sitting at 5, almost 6 as he picks up that chain vest. But so, you know, we're starting to kind of hit those max power situations. And I gotta say, it's been a long time since I've seen this kind of long style play.
Yeah, I don't know if this is going to be the strongest push right now, but it's still going to probably push off Falafel Gaming, especially with the inhibitor being so low over the bottom lane. I don't think they can actually defend this one. I was about to say though, Miss Fortune probably going to be doing the same thing, going to be building the Banshee's Veil. I would like to actually see maybe a little bit more defensive item, maybe a Random's Omen or something, because there is 2 people that are trying to pound in with AD, and the health would help out Miss Fortune do a little bit more effective damage. But overall, it's still pretty good team fight engagement. I think it's only on the Zingy to really lead out what's going to happen for this next fight.
Yeah, something that we don't have is an Aegis or a Runic here for Falafel. I mean, that armor aura can definitely go a long way, especially comes to the hard-hitting ace, the hard-hitting the hard-hitting ace and the hard-hitting Jarvan. So, I mean, that could really go a long way. Don't have it. There's the Cataclysm coming out, though, as well. Cybolic does flash out. I heard Azonia's go down. It does not matter. Karthus has dropped. Sona has dropped. The Press R to win is going to be going down, but it's not going to hit CloudXI, as he does have that Guardian's Angel. He's going to come back into the fray. Cybolic not looking so good. He got in the way of that ace in the hole at the end, popping right out of his pool. And ace going to be dropping real low. I don't think it matters. We got that big wave of red coming from the top. The mid's now getting pushed down, and the Nexus itself, it loses all of its hit points as game number 1 is going to go to Project Challenger here in the NA LCS Promotional Qualifiers.